Hey again, what's going on? Welcome to a very special YouTube video. This past Tuesday, Ryan, Keith, and myself, we presented the 2015 Byte Awards, where we talked about some of the best and the worst of the happenings in the WWE. We got you guys involved. Around a month ago, I posted a video presenting different categories which you could vote on by dropping a comment on that video. And now here we are, guys. It is the moment
You
to
dropped
present.
it like it's hot.
Yeah, you guys dropped it, the three of us counted it, and now it is time to present them. So we have all of the categories. There are a total of 10, I believe. So we are starting off with the Change the Channel Award. So Mr. Poshik, take it away.
Indeed. Much like our own Change the Channel award, it was the thing that made you guys go like, oh, what am I doing? Jeez. Just that thing that you just weren't a big fan of. So we gathered it all together, much like Juan said, and we're going to mention the top 3 picks. Top is kind of subjective here, but we'll just go beyond that. So number 3, Sheamus cashing in on Roman Reigns for the WWE title. Interesting, but I could see how that rubs some people the wrong way. Number 2, Roman Reigns, just his constant push, the awkward segments, the thuffer and thuckatashes, and the tater tots,
which was this was our winner for the Change the Channel Award.
Indeed, but there was one thing that offended you more than that, and my oh my was this a landslide of an offense. So your choice for the Change the Channel Award was... We doing a brop-a-doo here?
Yeah, let's do it.
The love triangle, square, fish, dog thing, whatever you want to call it, between Rusev, Lana, Ziggler, Summer Rae. I feel like Tyler Breeze was in there at some point, at least in the tail end.
Let's throw the Dudley Boys in there, because why not?
The Dudley Boys, exactly. It was just...
Heath Slater.
Totally understand how all y'all didn't like that one. Ooh, that was
and it was by a landslide. Like, the voting amount was between the other two was actually tied, basically. But then we had Rusev, Lana, and Ziggler. Now,
easily one of our most decisive wins, once again.
By far. So now to present the Things WWE Shoved Down Our Throats Award, Ryan McNulty.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, things WWE shoved down our throats. Now, a lot of people, a lot of us out there, we've had things shoved down our throats, some of us more than others. But what has WWE on their programming shoved down our throats? Coming in at number 3, The Authority. Now, The Authority, they are still on television. You might have thought that their storyline wrapped up nicely at WrestleMania 30, but no, they're still there, and they're still going strong. So I think that was a lot of people sympathizing with that being a little bit too much. We got the Divas Revolution coming in at number 2. Once again, your guys' number 2 pick was our number 1. So, hey, we can't agree on everything, guys. The Divas Revolution, it was more...
Who started it?
Yeah, who started it? More like
it was banana
bread. It was the idea of it being shoved down our throats more so than the actual revolution we wanted to see, which might finally be happening, but I could see all the terminology getting shoved down our throats. And number 1, another landslide victory, Roman Reigns. Obviously, this is the man who WWE is putting the jetpack on to soar to the top of the company. And a lot of people are none too kind about it, especially
Jetpack just had a little too much fuel this year.
Yeah, you saw his reaction at the Royal Rumble, and as of late, he might be turning a corner. We don't know yet, but throughout the year, he's had a pretty heavy push.
Yeah, no brop-a-doo needed for this one. It was another landslide.
I totally just flew right into it and didn't even wait.
You wanted to get right down to the point. We get it, Ryan. It's okay. You got involved in the moment. It's part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so next up we have the feud of the year. Pretty self-explanatory. An outstanding or a great rivalry that you really enjoyed. You maybe rewatched a couple of the matches just because the storyline development was really there. So number 3, we have Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker. Storyline that started when the streak originally came to an end. Undertaker comes back. kick to the nuts. Then we have a match that ends
such a good
with
kick.
a flipping of the bird, and then it concludes with a Hell in a Cell match, which was pretty physical considering the physical state of the Phenom. Now at number 2, Sasha Banks and Bayley. Sasha Banks had this transitional period where she's going to the main roster, but she's still feuding with Bayley. So the feud was very much revolved around the fact that Bayley was still in NXT, but the other divas were being called up. Bayley being the representative of the women's division in NXT. It was a great underdog story that concluded with Bayley not just winning the title, but retaining against Sasha Banks. Awesome storyline. And the winner for Feud of the Year is... You need to get that Brapadu check, Ryan.
I know.
John Cena
right.
and Kevin Owens' rivalry. This was pretty close with Sasha Banks and Bayley. Another outstanding storyline. Kevin Owens, since day one, had an amazing presence for him. For people that maybe didn't know about him, as we mentioned in our podcast special, the Byte Awards, it was somebody that you wanted to look up if you didn't know too much about. The rivalry was short-lived, straight to the point. Maybe Kevin Owens didn't come out on top, but night one outshined Cena. Then beat him in the first match. Maybe lost the rest, but that really did something great for the possible future for his career. So now,
Indeed.
Match of the Year. Keith.
Match of the year. Because what is a feud without great matches, right? They're kind of like the bread and butter of wrestling. So you guys chose your favorites. I find this to be the most interesting category.
Yeah.
That you guys picked. Very interesting, to say the least. Your number 3 pick. Kevin Owens versus John Cena at an Elimination Chamber. Very interesting. I find this didn't get as many votes as I thought it would. Got votes, enough to be the number 3, but just not as many as I thought. Especially our match of the year. And very different
Some of
from
those
yours.
votes were kind of split because you had ones for Battleground and Money in the Bank, so you might think had they gone towards it, might have changed things, but nevertheless.
Yeah, next time everybody get
nevertheless.
involved and agree to that one match. But a lot of people like the Cena Owens matches, so they're all in there.
Indeed. Our number 2 pick, Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins versus John Cena from the Royal Rumble this year. Totally see why that belongs there. It was a hell of a match. We talked it up in our own podcast about our awards and stuff. Great match. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Available on the network. $9.99. You know the drill.
First month for free, just in case. It is free.
Indeed. And your guys' 2015 match of the year is Sasha Banks versus Bayley at NXT Brooklyn.
Keep in mind, that is the first match. That is not the Iron Man match that happened at Respect. Very emotional match. Just perfect match. That is...
Full of a story.
Yeah. Amazing match. So good. I've watched it 4 times, and it's still great. And I haven't rewatched a lot of matches like that. So there's that.
We have a very progressive audience. You know, they thought they picked a women's match for the best match, but it doesn't matter if it, women or whatever aside, it was indeed a match of the year candidate. So that was very cool to see that. I mean, just the fact that we're having this conversation that a women's match, even if it isn't winning on our awards, was still in our top 3 as well. So there is the Divas Revolution, even if it is on our whatever shoved down our throat award or whatever. It's clearly something is being done right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There was one of the biggest differences this year was the perception of the NXT Divas Revolution versus the WWE Divas Revolution, for context of why we were down on the Divas Revolution. The NXT one was amazing, but it was the WWE one that was, let's say, a little subpar.
So now we go into Rookie of the Year. So Rookie of the Year on our award show was a more strict in the way that we were talking strictly main roster WWE, but we kind of left it open to see what people would pick. So what we have for Rookie of the Year can really be if you're rookie in NXT or on the main roster. Doesn't really matter. So coming in at number 3 is Chad and Gable. just had to get that in there.
Never gonna live it down, Michael.
Yeah,
Juan,
Chad
I don't know if
Gable, number 3.
Yeah, I have not watched a ton of NXT, so I can't speak for it. But Juan, I don't know if you want to talk him
Chad
up
Gable,
a bit.
he came up during this time where Jason Jordan was trying to look for different tag team partners. Outstanding guy. And he was failing with a lot of them, but all of a sudden teamed up with Chad Gable, who's a amateur wrestler in real life. Same thing as Jason Jordan. So they pair up, and they have had an amazing run so far as a tag team in a very short amount of time. They have one of my favorite tag team matches, let alone matches of the year, with Rhino and Baron Corbin, which seems like a really odd choice, right? But when the chemistry is there, it's outstanding, and I am ready, willing, and Gable to see him rise to the top.
So our next nominee is Apollo Crews. He debuted, I believe, at Brooklyn, right? NXT Brooklyn?
Yes, against Todd Dillinger.
Yes, and then this guy who's just a freak of nature, absolutely amazing in the ring. Definitely a guy to look out for on the main roster as a guy who could be a main event player, more so. Absolutely. And of course, the winner for Rookie of the Year is, and I'll pause for the cause so you guys can do your brappadoo. Not very enthusiastic, but Kevin Owens.
You've heard us.
You guys voted and overwhelmingly decided that he was the Rookie of the Year. Is there what else needs to be said about Kevin Owens?
He's
Comes
the man.
in, main roster, beats John Cena.
Came in like a lion.
Is now like a foundation, a part of Raw, and had his run with the Intercontinental title and is chasing for it to get it again.
Indeed he is. Now, I will be presenting the headline of the year. This is the category where maybe you got a text message. Maybe you went to your wrestling news website and you read something that made you go, "What? Really? That happened?" And that's pretty much it. So, number 3, Seth Rollins cashes in at WrestleMania. Long speculated, but one thing is speculation. Other thing is waking up in the next morning and figuring out that the man that maybe lost earlier in the night due to an awesome RKO is now your champion. Great moment right there. Number 2, getting to...
I know we have it as third, so there's a 3 next to it. It's just funny if you read it.
Oh,
Seth Rollins cashes in at WrestleMania 3.
Man, got that time machine. I'll add a little...
That's some Fight Night stuff right there.
Yeah. Okay, so next up, we have the sad passing of multiple WWE legends. In this case, Dusty Rhodes and Roddy Piper. I myself had the... not fortunate, because this is not something you want to report, but I posted both videos that are up on the channel about this because it happened out of nowhere. 2 legends that are very much active, that were active till the last day in wrestling. Piper had his podcast. Dusty Rhodes did the promo classes in the WWE Performance Center. And now they're both no longer with us. And the spectrum of the WWE changed because Dusty's not there. Piper, maybe his podcast, maybe people didn't like it too much, but the man loved his wrestling. And up until the last day of his life, he kept on living it. And that was your guys' number 2 pick. So, ladies and gentlemen, the number 1 headline of the year is... Seth Rollins injured at a house show. This was a fear that was happening, given all the injuries that have been occurring this year in the WWE. And you have to add your champion, who you've been building for months, to that list. To Cesaro or Randy, the list goes on and on. Sammy, who's out of action. Hideo Itami. I mean, just so many people out there. Darren Young is now also recently added to that list. And when you have your champion out of there, there is no question why this was a landslide victory, because this shifted the whole product. We got a tournament out of it. Sheamus became champion because of it. So many things happened, and it goes to show that anything can happen in the world of wrestling, and especially when somebody gets injured. So next up for biggest disappointment of the year, Mr. Poshik, take it away.
Indeed. So these are the things that just bummed you out. Something that you're like, oh, why is this happening? Much like your number 3 pick of Sheamus winning the WWE title. I mean, it came out of nowhere, and some would argue that not in the good way did it happen. Sheamus winning the title after months and months and months of him being nowhere near the top of the card, probably way closer to the bottom. All of a sudden, boom, he's champion. Okay. Your number 2 pick? The payoff for the Kevin Owens and John Cena rivalry. More of a Kevin Owens tapping out to John Cena. It was just for as great as that rivalry was, my apologies. It's yeah, Raggy was a rude rivalry. It was a great rivalry at start, but came in like a lion and really out like a lamb. It was got like more and more least impactful as time went on. My words are leaving
more
me.
Least impactful.
I gotta put in here. I was tallying up the votes for this one, and many people brought it up for different reasons. One was that Kevin Owens didn't end up becoming champion at the end of that feud. He tapped out. He lost more
really
matches than he won them. So we sort of gathered them all up into one because it's basically like great premise, but maybe you weren't too thrilled with how the feud concluded.
Mm-hmm. I think they missed a hell of an opportunity by not making Owens be the one that beat Cena for the U.S. Championship. And now your number 1 pick. Man, I can't talk anymore. What's wrong with me?
I think it was said Sheena.
Sheena Raggy. But your biggest disappointment of the year, easily the laundry list.
Keep talking through the segment. No.
Yeah, no kidding. My presentation of this award, easily the biggest disappointment of the year. Just
Keith,
kidding.
Don't pull a Steve Harvey and announce the wrong winner.
Okay, I'm going to look at the list again. And your biggest disappointment of the year. Okay, checking one. Okay. The laundry list of injuries that happened throughout the year. Because, man, this was not a good year for people getting hurt. It's just way too many injuries happened. And very notable people. Sting, Seth Rollins, as we mentioned earlier, Sami Zayn, Cesaro. It really left a feeling like they had to scramble to really pick up the pieces after each one of those injuries over and over and over again. And it really dampened / made the pace of the entire year worse because of it.
Indeed. Mr. McNulty. The show of the year.
So now we have show of the year. So coming in at number 3 is NXT TakeOver Respect. This is the event that had the Iron Man match between Sasha Banks and Bayley, as well as the Dusty Rhodes Classic Tag Team Tournament, which was won by Finn Balor and Samoa Joe. Chad and
Gable were there.
Then coming in at number
Jordan
2.
Sucks as a name. He's a great wrestler. It's just not a good name.
We come in at WrestleMania 31 at number 2. Of course, it had Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton. You get Sting versus Triple H. Bray Wyatt versus The Undertaker, even if it wasn't the greatest match in the world. And then Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar was a nice surprise, and Seth Rollins with the surprise
John
cash in
Cena
at the end.
Rusev was a heck of a match.
Like I said on the podcast, everyone going in had low expectations, and we were happily blown away. And then your pick for the show of the year is NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, which had a Match of the Year candidate and your pick for Match of the Year of Bayley versus Sasha Banks. It also had the debut of Apollo Crews, as well as Finn Balor and Kevin Owens in a ladder match. So hell of a show.
Indeed.
Houston Thunder Liger was in NXT.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was crazy to even think about.
It was so good, I forgot about that because there was so much going on.
Yeah, it was a really packed card.
And I didn't just say that to cover my ass, except I just said that to cover my ass.
All right.
Justified. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to present the Diva of the Year award. And at number 3, keep in mind this includes all of the WWE and NXT. So number 3 is Bayley, or I should say it's Bayley, the current reigning and defending NXT Women's Champion. She's had some of the best matches of the year. Not women's matches, not divas matches, but just best matches, period. And even though maybe some of her character development, people question like what's going to happen if she ever goes up to the main roster, let's focus on the positives. She's had a really kick-ass year.
Indeed.
At number 2, Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella has improved tremendously in the ring. She was the WWE Diva of the Year, for that matter, and one of the longest title reigns, defeating AJ Lee's record. You have to recognize that she's improved a lot. The Bellas have some hatred regarding the internet crowd, I guess, because of their past. Honestly, I'm over that. Brie Bella, that's another story, but there's a reason why she's not on this list. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Spoilers.
The winner for Diva of the Year is... Raw producer running low now. Sasha Banks.
Been a lot of brapa-doing tonight, folks.
Ryan, do the Sasha Banks entrance. I want to see you do it.
What?
Do like the
you did it for me.
No,
Yeah.
damn. I love how I ask somebody yet I end up doing it. Damn. Okay, but yeah, Sasha Banks. I mean, she is my superstar of the year. Hey, you're telling that to me? Sasha Banks is absolutely amazing. She is my superstar of the year. She is my whatever of the year. Like, she is a great representation of what would happen if you brought in 2005 type of WWE into the mix. Eddie Guerrero was one of her favorite wrestlers of all time. And you can see that in her style and her ability. And we've really seen nothing in the main roster. All of the awesome things have really been in NXT. So hopefully we eventually get to see that. Not too late. Don't go too deep into 2016 for that, please. Like, give us some of that now, please.
Agreed.
Keith,
No,
hype's on
here's
you.
the big one.
Like,
yeah, no pressure, right?
It's on
no
you,
pressure,
man.
right? Because one, Sasha Banks may be your superstar of the year, but this isn't about you. It's about our lovely fans. So we, right? Get out of here. So we are going to list you know what? We're going to break the rules a little bit too. And we are going to list your top 5. Because 3 ain't enough, baby. We need 5 top superstars of the year. Yeah. So coming in number 5, you chose Kevin Owens. For basically, yeah, Owens had a great year. Everything we've mentioned before. Had a heck of a year, both in NXT and WWE. Definitely belongs on this list.
Yeah, multi-time Byte nominated and winner.
Indeed.
If he comes out with a DVD, that should be on the box.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
The only man to get a Byte hat trick, Kevin Owens. Now, your number 4 pick? I feel like we almost need to do a brap-a-doo here because his name is
John Cena.
Exactly. Keep going. Okay. John Cena, I would almost say that the John Cena US Open Challenge deserves to be Superstar of the Year beyond John, for just all the great matches that he had during that entire run. You can stop now.
Thank you.
Your number 3 pick?
You told me to keep going, so I did.
I know, and I told you to stop. So there
I
you
did.
go. All right. So your number 3 pick, the brass ring grabber himself, Cesaro. It's something I never even really thought of, just how many great matches Cesaro had this whole year. Very unfortunate that he got injured later on
Seems like
in the year.
anytime he gets some momentum, something derails him.
Exactly. But hey, we wish Cesaro a speedy recovery, and here's to hoping that you're one of our top superstars in 2016. So your number 2 pick? The Beast incarnate himself, Brock Lesnar. The didn't have a lot of matches this year, but man, did he have some good ones. I would say that his match with Roman Reigns exceeded expectations almost across the board. managed to pull a Hell in a Cell match, a good Hell in a Cell match out of The Undertaker.
Can't forget the Rumble match either.
Yeah, exactly, the Rumble match. Brock, and it's always a treat when Brock Lesnar comes around. Nobody has that aura like Brock has, so definitely deserves to be on this list. But your number one superstar of 2015. Are you ready for the
superstar?
All right, we need like an extra brappadoo for this one. So give it all you got, boys. I'll even join in.
What are you doing? What are you?
I don't know. I'm like hyping it. I'm like getting it ready. Getting it ready. I'm
on the count of
stirring up
three.
the dues, man.
1, 2, 3.
Get the no.
I screwed up. I hit screwed up.
Seth Rollins is your superstar of 2015. I mean, Seth, he carried the company on his back for most of the year, had one of probably the best cash-ins at WrestleMania that we've ever seen. A real, oh my god moment if I've ever seen one. And just a heck of a year from Seth.
My brappadoo is just like a car that you rev it of a car and it just fails. That's what happened to me.
Well, you get an E for effort.
It's really sad, but yeah, Rollins. I don't think that it was an unexpected pick, even with us in our Byte Awards. Like originally, Rollins maybe was about to win, but when you look at the difference there, I guess I want to ask you guys: is there any surprise that you saw within these picks that maybe you thought, oh, Rollins is going to for sure win, but maybe somebody else did within any of the categories?
I figured, Rollins was pretty much a shoo-in. I think we were kind of a little outside the box with our pick with John Cena, but I think overwhelmingly most people would pick Seth Rollins to win. So, yeah.
Indeed, he was the guy. He was the champion. He was champion a lot longer than any one of us expected him to be champion, and I think that alone really could. That's the reason you could argue the case on why Seth was champion. He was given the ball for so long, and he didn't fumble it once.
Yeah, indeed. I guess the one thing that sort of caught me off guard, if you look back at the Rookie of the Year, so Kevin Owens seems like the obvious choice, right? But when you look at everybody else, including Chad and Gable, everybody's basically in NXT. And you think to yourself, awesome, right? But then you're like, wait, but what about the main roster? And we have over 10 different names that people voted on, I should say. But there's nobody really else that's on the main roster with the exception of Neville, who was all the way at the bottom of that list. So maybe for everything good that was happened with Owens, there didn't seem to be too much interest with other rookies or people that came in recently. We have
for all the call-ups to the main roster, really only one made it this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just this weird conundrum that the WWE has found themselves in where their developmental territory is far superior to its actual main product. Yeah, it's awesome. NXT is awesome. So that's why like call-ups and rookies and stuff always seem less impactful on the main roster.
Yeah.
At least in my eyes.
Definitely. I personally want to thank you guys for doing all the votes. Definitely drop a comment with any unexpected results. We got over 70, so over 80 comments, I believe we got for the voting system. Did you think that your pick not winning or winning was expected? What did you guys think? Drop that in the comment section. Definitely like and subscribe. We recently crossed 4,000 subscribers. We recorded this right after the podcast, and my voice is running dry right now. But yeah, this is one of our final videos of 2016, so we also want to take a time to once again say thank you for those that take your some time from your day to drop a comment, to like, to share. We've had people that share the podcast, people around the world, like specifically about YouTube. We have way more control over knowing who's listening to us, right? And the fact that we have people from the UK, from Saudi Arabia, from just so many parts that it's crazy to see how a lot of times they'll agree with our opinions, even though they're like thousands and thousands of miles away, right?
Yeah,
still can't barely wrap my head around it.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody, and hope you like these viewers' choice picks, and we will definitely have this come back next year. So until next time, have a happy new year when it is time to give that countdown, and we will be back with tons more right here. Keith, say it for me.
On Byte That.
Oh, yeah.